Hello dear traders. As always, the intensity of events in the crypto sector is off the scale. The bankrupt FTX exchange received permission to liquidate its assets, but this did not lead to a large-scale collapse in the market. In the settings of the popular Telegram Messenger, we can now see a crypto wallet. Meanwhile, the largest electronic payment system, PayPal, introduced a new tool for working with cryptocurrency. It will allow users to exchange digital assets for fiat. However, the Fed's key rate decision was the main event of the period. In our video review, we will focus on the events that took place during the period from September 14th to September 20th. You are watching a cryptocurrency review with me, Maria Starodub. Yesterday, the Fed decision failed to surprise traders. Curiously, before the meeting, more aggressive investors bet on the greenback's rise. Hedge funds were actively buying the US currency and opened a long position for the first time in 6 months. Thus, buy orders on the US dollar exceeded sell orders for the first time since the middle of March. Although on September 20th the regulator kept the benchmark rate unchanged, it made it clear that a new rise was quite possible. According to forecasts, this year the regulator will raise the interest rate once more, whereas in 2024 we will see 2 cuts. Against this backdrop, the US dollar index recovered to 105.4 late on Wednesday. In recent weeks, coins included in the top 10 largest cryptocurrencies by market capitalization showed a moderate upward movement. The number one crypto asset increased by 3.3%. The lowest Bitcoin price was recorded on September 14th at the level of $26,170. The highest price was seen at $27,480 on September 19th. Notably, Bitcoin climbed above 27,000 for the first time since late August, whereas the one-moment rise came at $1,000. During recent weeks, Bitcoin was trading above the horizontal line, which almost coincided with the low of 24,750 recorded in June. In light of problems with regulation, investors closed most positions and took the wait-and-see approach. Last week, there were no events that might have encouraged holders of digital assets. In fact, all the markets were quite waiting for the publication of interest rate decisions by the United States, Switzerland, the United Kingdom and Japan. Yesterday, on the daily chart, we saw that Bitcoin nosedived amid a jump in the US dollar. However, the coin managed to find ground and climb above 27,000. It is possible that such attempts are pointing to the fact that the worst is over. Nevertheless, optimism is fading away due to a decline in investments in crypto funds. The outflow of money has been in place for the 5th week in a row, or even longer for the last 8 out of 9 weeks. During this period, investments in Bitcoin contracted by $45 million, whereas investments in Ethereum dropped by $5 million. In this light, Ethereum showed a smaller rise. In the last 7 days, it added just 1%. The lowest price was seen at 1,604 on September 14th. After the coin tested 1,666 on September 18th, it started trading mixed. However, it had to retreat under the pressure of the rising US dollar. As a result, by late Wednesday, it had slid to 1,617. Curiously, a year ago, on September 15th, Ether switched to a new algorithm. A high rate of validators' participation in the network ensures optimal operation of the proof-of-stake network. However, the decline in Ether over the past few months has discouraged them. That's why from September 15th, the validator participation rate started falling. However, by Monday, the weekly indicator had surged by 250%. What's more, developers failed to launch the Holy Sky testnet, which was supposed to improve the staking services, infrastructure, and protocols based on Ether. A new attempt will take place in 2 weeks. Also on September 18th, the percentage of missed blocks in the Ethereum network doubled compared to the previous 30-day average. Against the background of slow and expensive transactions, Tron, a frisky token of the decentralized platform for entertainment content, began to bypass the second crypto coin. For comparison, on September 17th, Ethereum registered a total of 880,000 transactions, while Tron recorded 4.5 million transactions. Thus, during the week, the token appreciated by 4.2%. On Wednesday, TRX closed with a rise near 0.085. Although both blockchains use smart contracts, Tron is trying to replace Ether in-game apps. For example, the block length and transaction cost of Tron allowed to process 2,000 operations per second. Ethereum, with its higher commissions and lower transaction speeds, can no longer keep up with it. One more reason for Tron's appreciation is its introduction in Asia. For your reference, countries in Central and South Asia are the leaders in accepting cryptocurrencies. This list was topped by India, whereas Nigeria and Vietnam are in the top 3. At the same time, the global crypto adoption index on the contrary is falling. In the last 7 days, the best market performance was shown by the token related to a popular messenger. Thus, Tron coin soared by about 45% in the 7 days after the Open Network Foundation announced the integration of a crypto wallet in Telegram. Notably, from September 14th, the coin has risen by 28%. The wallet is already available to 800 million users. Tron coin rapidly entered the top 10 leading cryptocurrencies. By late Wednesday, it was trading upwards near the level of $2.4. Will it break the level of 3? Judging by the chart, the asset reached its highest level in December 2022. Then the price advanced to $2.97. From that moment on, it was falling until the June 10th. It reached the bottom at the support level of 1.02. In addition to other cryptocurrencies, the native currency of the Ripple network was also gaining in value during the last week. XRP gained popularity as a currency for cross-border transactions. The RippleNet network is developed on the basis of blockchain technology and is available to financial institutions around the world. The company also uses the XRP token. By the way, its founder, Brad Garlinghouse, notes that XRP is 1,000 times faster than Bitcoin, which means that the volatility threat to XRP is only for 3 seconds. Moreover, the token is strengthening even despite the recent removal of XRP from the so-called green list. It includes tokens approved by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Recently, the agency announced its intention to introduce higher standards for listing and delisting digital assets on trading platforms. The Ripple coin apparently does not meet these standards. However, the market seems to have its own view. At least the XRP token, as you can see on the chart, was steadily climbing all 7 days from a weekly low of 1.86 to a high of $2.58, which it reached early on Wednesday, September 20th. We hope that your trading assets are also gaining in value and that the previous week was really profitable. This is all for now. See you in a week on September 28th. Stay tuned.